Chat. Dr. Drew McPhail of McPhail Chiropractic is here today. He's here to tell us about common symptoms of neuropathy, what it is and what you need to do and who suffers from it. Welcome to the show, Doctor. You and I were talking. Let's first define what is neuropathy.
Okay, neuropathy is a condition of the nerves. The most common form of neuropathy is what's called a sensory neuropathy. In our body, we have nerves that control our muscles. We also have nerves that allow us to feel and touch things. These are the sensory nerves, and these are the most common nerves that are affected. There are many different risk factors or causes of peripheral sensory neuropathy. There's metabolic risk factors like diabetes. Okay, 60% of all diabetics will develop neuropathy.
So it's 60% of diabetics will develop neuropathy.
That's what research states. Chemotherapy, patients who are undergoing chemotherapy for management of cancer. Okay, some of the side effects from that can be peripheral neuropathy as well. Sometimes the neuropathy can be so painful that the patients will stop the care for the cancer because they just can't manage the symptoms of the neuropathy.
And some of the symptoms that we're looking at is numbness and tingling, but you and I are also talking some people that have severe neuropathy, maybe in their feet, maybe in their legs. Even for a sheet on the bed to touch the skin is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I've had patients in my clinic whose spouse have built little cages to go over their feet just so the sheets won't touch them because it's so painful and so sensitive before they come in and get treatment. Traditionally or normally what we'll see is it'll start in the white areas here. You'll notice in the extremities, it starts in the toes with the numbness and tingling.
Right in this area here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then as it progresses up the foot, and it usually goes up about halfway up the calf. Okay. Now the more progressive cases will actually go up into the upper extremities, into the fingertips and hands. And the more progressive cases will also have more of the pain syndrome, more of the burning, the sharp lightning type sensation.
So it goes from the little needles and pins to more of a burning sensation and just so uncomfortable for the patient.
And then eventually as the nerves die off, then it just becomes completely numb. You don't feel anything.
What about the electric or shocking sense from it?
Yeah, that basically what's happening is the nerves are shorting out. Okay, they're trying their best to send messages up to the brain to let you know where you are. Balance issues are a major problem with people with neuropathy. I noticed on the news the other day, they were talking about how the number of falls since 2000 for seniors has doubled. And they said it's because of other conditions. Well, one of the number one conditions that causes those falls is neuropathy, untreated neuropathy, because the patients can't feel their feet, their balance is altered. Although they may notice that they're falling, their reflexes are diminished, so they can't catch themselves, and they fall. They break an arm, break their hip, and then it's downhill from there. So if we can help the patients with the neuropathy and get that balance back, okay, and prevent the falls, we're going to be able to save a lot of lives.
Keywords: helping the patient to get back to possibly a normal state. How do we do that?
Okay, one of the key components of neuropathy is a thing called ischemia. Okay, ischemia means tissue death due to starvation. What happens is the capillaries, you have these microscopic vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to the nerves. Okay, they become clogged, like in the case of diabetes, they become clogged with elevated levels of glucose, which prevents the flow of nutrients to the nerves. So the nerves are basically dying off because of that. So what we have to do, we have different types of lasers. We have a low-level laser, which helps to increase the capillary function, helps to increase the diameter of the capillary so it can get more of the oxygen and nutrients and proper amounts of glucose to the nerves so they can rehabilitate. We have the high-power laser, which you've seen before. That helps to actually facilitate the nerves and give them energy so they can heal.
You got a seminar coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this afternoon at 3 o'clock at my clinic, I'm going to be going into detail on neuropathy, okay, basically some of the risk factors and causes and how we effectively manage it.
Any cost involved with that?
Nope, it's totally free.
Wonderful. A lot of healing help for those that are suffering from neuropathy. Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, we've got more coming up with Low Country Live in just a moment. Make sure you get to that free seminar today.